It's the Mead for Metal podcast.
Look at that. Damn. I've always enjoyed Seether.
Yeah. Well, you can't ask for much more with really good South African grunge-ish music, huh?
I didn't even realize they were from South Africa until after I saw them live.
Man, Pretoria.
Because they played on the same show that where Drowning Pool was supposed to play, but then the frontman fucking died.
Oh, bodies hit the floor.
He's on the tour bus. The body hit the floor of the tour bus. I'm sorry, Dave Williams, man. I didn't mean nothing.
Sorry, Dave. I didn't know you went the same way Shannon Hoon did.
It's my apologies. It's all on this side of the table.
Got to keep an eye on them damn tour buses. That's what's killing artists.
Well, we've made it to another one.
We've got so much shit to get into, but very first of all, we talked about it last time that we'd had a new piece of gear,
right?
TASCAM Model 12. This is the first time we're using it for this show.
Yeah. So if you don't get a lot of chat out of me, it's because I'm looking at this board trying to make sure I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. So far, I would say it's an upgrade with a huge learning curve, but I think it's okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt for us to learn new shit once in a while.
Sure. And, I'm right there with it. New shit's intimidating. People fear change, but you got to evolve. You have to fucking evolve, and we're evolving right now.
Yeah. It has the ability, because if you listen, it sounds exactly the same. That's fine. I'm actually pretty happy if it sounds the same. If it sounds a little better, that's even better. But
yeah, don't get it twisted. We did not get this board to make our podcast better.
No, it's great if it does. But
sure, absolutely.
But realistically, if it sounds the same, well, that's great, because that means it's doing its job and everything else. Actually, in the future, it'll probably sound even better, because on the front end, when we introduce music, it's picking it up, it's going through microphone and everything else, and then we pot it down, and then we start talking and doing our shit. For those of you wanting to look behind that curtain here in the land of Oz. But the thing is that in the future, what a function we'll probably be utilizing will be to actually go straight through another piece of gear straight into the board that'll handle that solely.
Yeah, that's really something I'm looking forward to, and we're on the way to getting that done. But man, this ain't no fucking Motorola cell phone we're learning to use here. This is a piece of equipment.
Yeah, well, stepping up from Behringer to anything is usually going to be a move upward in the tech.
Yeah.
Now I'm not shitting on Behringer. Man, if you're on inexpensive gear, if you're on a limited budget, or you're a brand new musician, or whatever the hell the case may be, that's actually a good starting point. Fuck, we're still using Behringer mics.
Yeah, and that was another reason why I was a little intimidated by this upgrade. Been using the Behringer brand for the whole duration.
Yeah, 9 years now.
That motherfucker, I could run it drunk and high, which is why, I was primarily drunk and high while we were doing the podcast.
Yeah. Well, this one, once you have it dialed in, though, we should be reasonably off and running. Yeah.
Yeah. So, basically, in essence, where this is my first time recording live with this fucking thing, and whatever sounds not great on this one will sound better on the next one.
Yeah. Well, because Brandon can't abide shit not sounding the right way. So.
I'm a bit of an audio whore. It's who I am, and it's what I do.
So how's your week?
Man, not bad at all. Certainly better than Dave Navarro's week.
Better than Dave Grohl.
Better than
all. Rock and roll is back. Rock and roll is back, my friends.
Better
Bands
than all the Daves.
Fist fighting on stage. Fucking even like a little pussy like Dave Grohl putting it in a lady that's not his wife. Rock and roll is back.
Now, I have to give Dave Grohl credit for just go ahead and coming out and saying that shit.
Yeah, I mean,
If-
I agree. People online saying that is the most rock and roll thing that Dave Grohl has ever done.
Oh God. I mean,
His daughter Violet, not a fan, but
yeah, well, fucking, I come from a cheating family myself, and it don't feel good. Don't feel good at all. But you know what? He for a guy that just the nicest guy in rock and roll.
Well, but the problem is when you start linking up, it's like, oh, he was doing a bunch of shit because he knew he had to start trying to really groom that image because he knew what was going to happen. He knew
Right.
what was coming. So that guy started doing that shit. He worked at like a food kitchen like for 24 hours or some shit or whatever. Did some big donation to something else or whatever. And then about 3-4 months down the road, like, oh, by the way, I got a child coming, not from my wife.
Hope y'all don't mind.
Which then everybody's like, what? I thought Dave Grohl's a nice guy. And those of us like, no, he's just a shitty drummer from Nirvana.
Well, you don't want to get it too close to the head there. I mean, that's pretty accurate.
And I mean, yeah, sure. I'm not a Foo Fighters guy. I felt like he really. I'm not even angry about him. His out of wedlock shit because I don't care. It's none of my fucking business. If everybody else wants to be angry at you, hey man, you shit in your own bed. You got to sleep in it now.
Right? Yeah. You shit the bed, you sleep in it.
Something like that, right? I think there's some kind of nonsense.
I believe that's an old proverb.
It's a parable. My bigger problem with that guy was when Taylor Hawkins died, and immediately like, oh, we're going to do a big memorial tour just for
Concert for Taylor.
and immediately made it about Dave.
Yeah, especially the way the guy, I mean, he died while they were on tour, right?
It was not a savory look. No, he died in South America. Yeah.
Oh, fuck. That
Brazil, maybe?
shows how much I recall of it.
And I'm only just pulling that out of my ass. I think so. I know they were on tour. I think they were in South America, but yeah, then he goes and like, yeah, I'm gonna put together this big tribute. So he goes and gets hold of all of his fucking friends, who of course they're there to do it for the right reasons, and Dave is there to do it for Dave.
I know, it did feel like some of them were there just to suck Dave Grohl's penis.
Of course, because like, man, he's the nicest guy in rock and roll. Well,
Except for having like Taylor's kid out there to drum on a song. The sentiment is nice, but I mean, come on, that's gonna get people talking. Like, oh man, Taylor's kid drumming on a song his daddy wrote.
yeah,
God, we're just talking shit about Foo Fighters.
That's okay.
We're gonna lose people now, man.
No, if we lose anybody over Foo Fighters shit, they shouldn't have been here in the first place. Sorry.
We would have lost them a long time ago.
Man. So then let's talk about Jane's addiction. Perry Farrell having some issues, apparently.
I feel like that dude has always had issues.
Yeah, he's got an issue with the bottle, although his wife says he does not.
Well, his wife's an idiot.
His wife is a Yoko. She's like, yeah, I'm here to protect everybody in this band. They always call me the Mama Eagle, which I bet nobody has ever called her that.
Oh, God, that's cringy.
Yeah, and that really that Perry didn't do shit to Dave, but then it was that fucking bass player Eric that came over and started punching him in the gut 3 times, which nobody's video showed that shit. And there are multiple videos of that concert and the meltdown 1 week ago today.
And Perry Farrell did not mention that once. She mentioned it a few times.
Yeah.
He did not.
She's there for the brand. She's there to protect her husband and her meal ticket, because what the hell is that guy going to do for money aside from residuals and royalties from Jane Says? Realistically, there's nothing. Well, he was in that other band, but I'm sure he gets his royalties there too. But, man, I don't think.
Oh, Porno for Pirates.
Yeah. I don't think at the end of the day that that guy is going to be making active money. I think all of his income now is going to be passive.
Yeah, the other funny thing is, like, this whole implosion happens, and then Jane's Addiction drops a new song.
That was kind of fucked up, well, because that's the whole thing, and that's where Perry should have minded his P's and Q's, especially the pints and quarts.
Ooh, hey now.
Well, because he has this thing where he'd come up on stage with a bottle of wine, like, oh, I love this bottle of wine, and he would drink the whole thing. Although his wife says he would only drink a quarter of it, or it wasn't even wine, or whatever. I get it.
She said quarter. I think she meant quart.
Damage control, absolutely. But what are you doing going after Dave Navarro? That guy doesn't control your. Look, jump off the stage, go out there, chase the snake all the way back to the sound pit, kick the sound guy's ass.
There you
go. You know.
Or, you can be that asshole and just bring the whole problem to light during a live show. Be like, hey, it'd be great if I could fucking hear myself sing there, boys. There were a dozen ways that could have been handled, and he picked the absolute wrong one.
He's just lucky that Dave Navarro is not like, somebody had to like deal with like Glenn Danzig shit or something like that. And like, no, fuck, you come at me, I'm going to fucking hit you with my guitar.
Yeah. Glenn Danzig, but goddamn, I know there's at least one video that it's not the dude from Biohazard, but he gets knocked the fuck out. It's one of my favorite internet videos of all time.
There are multiple ones out there. If you're looking for a good time this weekend, just get on YouTube here where you're at right now, and just punch in bands fighting, and you'll find it. And almost without fail, the lead singer's the one that gets knocked the fuck out.
To see Glenn Danzig, and this isn't a recent thing. This happened like 2007,
right?
Where he still had that intimidating aura until that other guy fucking just extinguished that flame.
Cat Williams' his ass.
Well, thankfully, it wasn't a child that did it. Because that right there, that's a problem. But he rebounded well from that, I guess.
I don't know. What's he doing now? He's
on podcasts, like talking shit.
Going to work in the morning, like, man, I guess I got to make the fries again.
Yeah, got a similar life to me. Take selling fries instead of weed.
We'll take down some old shit from MTV fucking Music Awards shows and sell it at the pawn shop.
Well, that's first place I'd go if I need cash for my addictions.
Whose career is better right now? Miley Cyrus, Glenn Danzig, or Dave Navarro?
Dave Navarro.
Really?
For sure. Oh, yeah. No, man. There is nobody that has sided with Perry Farrell on anything in this recent thing. But, like, the dude just has had health problems. I don't know if they're COVID-related or not, but for a long time.
I think they're liquor-related.
Perry Farrell says. Dave Navarro, I'm sure drinks. He's a gothic-looking Hot Topic boy.
Yeah, you don't get that late 90s, early 2000s look without some issues, right?
And Dave Navarro wasn't even a founding member of that band.
Now, I threw Miley Cyrus in because she's not, I don't know. She's not even a pop singer anymore, but
she's just a singer
hanging around, I guess. And so are the other two. I don't even know what Glenn Danzig did. That's why I had to ask. He was like, I don't even know what the fuck
Glenn
that guy's
Danzig's
doing.
been doing the Misfits. Like, they brought Misfits back.
Yeah.
Which that's what you want to hear.
That is like, yeah, well, we're going to bring back my original shit because nobody likes anything I've done for the last 20 years.
Now that dude, the beef boy that plays BC Rich, the Wolf von Frankenstein, whatever his fucking name is, that dude looks exactly the same as he did 30 years ago. But I feel like steroids has a lot to do with that.
Oh, sure.
But still, he looks exactly the same.
Steroids keep you young. Look
Glenn
at Joe Rogan.
Danzig got a fucking boiler on him.
Oh, yeah.
He's been enjoying some steak dinners and beer heavies, no beer light.
I got to say, you start putting a boiler on at his age. It's a lot of times there's some issues related to the fucking liver involved.
Yeah.
Liver. It's not just booze.
Right.
Booze is where your mind goes, but most drugs also are all filtered through your great big organic body filter.
Yeah, my liver's gonna be so happy when I'm dead. Finally, I get a break.
Every Friday and Monday morning. Am I right?
But then my liver's like, fuck, that means I'll be dead too. All right, you know what? We'll keep this partnership going.
So let's talk about the last show. When we got done, we wrapped up. We'd had LJ on, who we're going to check in with here in a little bit. We got done. That dude brings in his Ibanez, and we jammed for a while. It was a good time.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, actually, it was a damn good time.
Yeah, I had a few folks that listen to the show was like, man, why don't you get that guy on all the time? We don't live in the same town. That's the problem.
Yeah.
But yeah. I'm not opposed to that shit. And you might be wondering, well, where's Krista been? Man, that chick's working. I would probably say she's just temporary, really, or off and on.
Sure.
We're not going to have her every Friday. We're not going to, every show. Matter of fact, I'd be willing to bet we get her about 50-50 from now to the end of the year.
Yeah, which is understandable. I mean, god damn.
Yeah,
She got a lot of irons in the fire.
She's in the medical industry and stuff, so life keeping her mighty busy, and it's fine. This is just a simple podcast for us to just vent our rage on the world not going the way we want.
Yeah.
In a perfect world, Dave Navarro knocks out Perry Farrell.
Oh God, if that had happened, but see, if he had done that, he would have looked more like the asshole. By doing nothing, he's completely vindicated.
Yeah.
And if Jane's addiction were to end, which there's probably a good chance that's the case.
Yeah, I'd touch base with my brother Daryl on that shit, and that guy's like, man, go ahead and call. He said, I'm gonna call it now. That band is done. Although this band has been done about 4 times.
Yeah.
But I think this band was officially done when Flea is like, no, I think I'm all right. I think we're good.
Wasn't Flea more like a guest more than anything?
For that big show that they did in like '95 at the Hollywood Bowl or whatever.
Yeah, because I remember he played bass on that song, and then all of a sudden Dave Navarro's a guitar player in fucking Red Hot Chili Peppers as well.
Right.
There's a lot of like sharing between those two bands.
No Perry Farrell though, in the Peppers though. It's
Well,
Farrell, right? I think I've always called him Perry Farrell, but I was watching some bullshit.
Farrell? I don't know. Perry Farrell. Perry Farrell feels right.
I don't know, but I will say, yeah, that about the time that you didn't see Flea anymore, and there was no crossover action coming from Perry.
No, he was doing the hits of Jane's Addiction and Porno for Pyros on his solo shit.
And I don't mind Pornos for Pyros. I don't mind.
All right.
They've got some reasonably good shit, especially a lot of their like Southeast Asian inspired kind of modalities that they utilize,
right.
And some of their I can't remember the name of the record right now, but I'm kind of a fan, but that run's been done for a long time. And realistically, I didn't even know that Jane's Addiction was still even touring until that shit broke last week.
They just recently gotten back together, and I want to say it's the original lineup.
Yeah.
They've been touting that a lot. I don't think it's going to be the original lineup if they ever come back.
I don't think we'll see them again. But
speaking of original lineup,
speaking of assholes, let's talk about Chester Bennington's son.
Oh.
So we talked about Linkin Park, I think, on the show last time. That was my phone. Sorry, dude.
That's a powerful vibration.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, I put in the front panel of my pants, and I call myself constantly.
That's right. Just put a corner in my hole.
Chester Bennington, lead singer for Linkin Park, who had offed himself here a few years ago. His son.
I just like it. There wasn't like, well, he unfortunately passed away. You just called it like it was.
Yeah, threw a rope over a shower curtain rod, and it's but
classic.
So they end up getting this new lead singer. Okay, is she problematic? Yeah, she's a Scientologist. Scientologists are fucking idiots.
Right off the bat,
they're fucking idiots. They have bad fucking ideas, and they try to shape the world through money and influence. It's fucking terrible. Look at Tom Cruise.
All while backing lizard people.
And so she's that. She had tried to defend Danny Masterson, the rapist. But all of that apparently, or at least the Danny Masterson thing, they're saying is in her past. She had recanted and went, no, clearly this guy did that. He's a piece of shit. Enjoy prison. Bye. But she still is a Scientologist. But people are really calling it out for that. People saying, oh, well, Chester would be rolling over in his grave if he knew somebody with your ideas were. Here's the thing. Chester ain't here. Chester died by his own hand.
Yep.
If you do that, you lose control of your narrative.
Right.
And his son is coming out like, oh, yeah, she's terrible. We need to do this. We need whatever. Sorry, dude. First of all, you're the son of the dead ex-lead singer. He didn't kill himself while he was still representing Linkin Park. He was an STP.
Now, this is true.
So I have some issues with everybody then coming to his side, You know, it's like, well, she's a piece of shit, blah, blah. I have a bigger problem with people saying, man, she doesn't sound good at all. It's like, the fuck she doesn't? She sounds just like Chester.
She's there to do a job. And I had mentioned it before. It's like, man, it would have been nice if they would have added someone that would have brought something a little more to the table. But it also seems like only about half of that band is behind the idea of this fucking new version of Linkin Park. Chester clearly ain't gonna make the shows, and then there are two other motherfuckers. One's like, I'll work behind the scenes. The other's like, I don't want anything to do with this.
Yeah, Mike Shinoda. When it comes down to it, that was a band that was formed by those two dudes, right?
Probably.
But so there's a bunch of rage against Mike because for bringing this chick in. Like, man, you should. But I'm getting the real. You know who I have a real problem with, or Lane Staley fans. I'm getting the same vibe here because people are like, why didn't Mike just go ahead and scrap it and start up a new band with a new name? And because of fucking branding, you idiots. If that's the view you hold, like those that are saying Lane Staley died, Jerry should have just put together a new band with a new name. Why? It was Jerry's band to start with. Alice in Chains. That's his shit. That wasn't Lane's shit. Lane joined his band.
Right.
Linkin Park, okay, it's a little closer to the cut on that, in that you have Mike Shinoda, you got Chester Bennington, and God damn it, the bass player. I believe that was kind of a mutually formed band in Massachusetts a long time ago.
I'm gonna find out.
Like Google be your friend, right? Instead of just pulling it out your ass like I'm doing.
Wikipedia.
But I have a very distinct problem with people. First of all, if you have a business and I don't know, one of your managers dies, are you going to rebrand your business because we can't move on with this name? We got to change it up. And especially when you have an issue, and I am talking out my ass on this one, because when it comes for my time to go, unless somebody else kills me, I'm going to do it. And that's the point.
Dark but true.
That's where I've been on that for 4 years now. But I also acknowledge that once that happens, it is no longer my legacy to fucking defend, because I'm not here to defend it in the first place. And besides that, I should open myself to scrutiny at that point. Same with Chester, and that's why I'm not letting his kid get off the hook on this one. And it's not a popular take. I'm
sure
saying right
it's
now.
even a less popular take. Be like, man, I wasn't even really into the shit Linkin Park was doing when they wrapped up due to the death.
10,000 Suns was the last time I thought Linkin Park did anything of note, and a lot of people hate that record.
I'm one of those fans. Like, man, I liked the first two.
Yeah.
After that, I found better shit.
Yeah, Hybrid Theory and Meteor is. It's you'd be hard pressed to find. Those fall in the top 100 albums of the 90s.
And I enjoyed the remix album they did for Meteor, Reanimation.
Yeah.
That's good too. Had like fucking Jay-Z on it doing yeah, God, see that I'm showing that I'm not a big Linkin Park guy.
Well,
that one song they did.
And for all of you that think, old Kev's a big Mike Shinoda fan. I am not. That guy ruined that White Pony track that they let him tinker with. And Deftones is basically letting everybody else remix their shit.
Out of everybody that you'd want to do Black Pony and do a remix of Passenger, you go with Mike Shinoda.
Yeah.
Bro, God damn it. Well, you know what? Hey, best of luck to them. They're going to make a pile of cash. They're going to do really well.
I hope so, man. Because realistically, that's all I want. I want everybody to do pretty damn good. It'd be all right, unless you're a real asshole, in which case I'll be rooting against you. But
I don't think Mike Shinoda's an asshole. It's just I just don't care.
That's it, and that's the other one, right? Because how many people before they introduced what's her name, Emily Armstrong, I think.
Yeah.
Before they introduced her, to be the lead singer, the harsh vocal side,
right?
Because Mike does his own vocals too.
I am a little bit gone, but then.
Well, yeah, if it's the more rap side of it, but if it's the more rage-filled side, I think Emily Armstrong does fine.
Oh no, they got someone's like, look, we need you to be Chester. That's what we need you to be, and mission accomplished. You did it.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about something else that's pretty cool. Maynard James Keenan turned 60 years old last year, or as the Spanish among you would call him, Sessanta.
Los Sessanta.
So they did that tour last year, and I thought, well, that sucks because it wasn't even. We didn't even get.
Not even sniffing distance.
No. I think the closest would have been like a 14-hour drive. Like we ain't doing that.
It'd have been the Red Rocks. We'd had to gone up there.
I forgot
and
about
paid
that
out the ass.
And that's expensive. I was thinking 14 to Kansas City, but so I thought, well, that's just one we missed out on. That's a bummer. Probably 13. We could have kept it 13 to go to the one in Arizona because they did do a show there at Walking Stick.
Yeah.
But man, I got to say, I was a little shocked when I was like, oh, well, Sessanta version 2.0 is coming.
This time it's personal.
Which I immediately then queried the circle here and got a resounding yes from pretty much almost everybody.
And it did not take long.
No, it did not. It's like, is this the thing we want to do? Yes, it is. So we're gonna go see. APC, Primus, and Pussifer in Albuquerque. Coming up in the spring. So look out, Maynard. We're coming to help you celebrate another year.
That's right. And in April in New Mexico. Should be interesting.
You never know. You
never know.
Outdoor show, yeah. It is in the birth month, though, and usually, like, shit, either it works or else it doesn't. There's not usually a lot of in-between.
Right. And, hey, man, in the span of about 14 months, we will have seen Tool, APC, and Pussifer. I don't know a whole lot of other Maynard projects that he does, that he tours. Those are the big three.
And Les Claypool from Primus. Woo.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that's the other thing, too, because these three, it's not like you got three bands. You're not. Well, you are, but you're not. Not in the sense you think. You're getting three bands that are on the stage all the time.
Yeah, they're all going to be, like, doing it. There's always going to be something going on. And you're going to hear Claypool do, like, they did a few Tool covers. Yeah. During the last run, and you got Les Claypool on bass. That's a hell of a guy to have for that.
What are your thoughts on Les Claypool?
I think he is the coolest bass player out there. The coolest. I love his attitude. The dude was this close to being a bass player for Metallica after Cliff Burton died. He didn't apply. I think he might have applied again when Newstead left. Actually, you know what? I don't think he did. I think it was just in the 80s. Because Les Claypool been doing this shit a long time. He's a likable motherfucker. He's a nerd. He recognizes the music he does as fucking for weirdos. And I am that weirdo. I've been listening to Primus off and on since I was a teenager.
Yeah, Pork Soda was the first one I was exposed to and all that. So
Sailing the Seas of Cheese. That was the first album I bought. Bought the Brown album, which I thought was fucking... Brown album is their heaviest album. It's like they fucking just upped the aggression on the bass.
I put Les Claypool in the same category, or at least for similar reasons, that I on the bass side of it, that I do with Jerry Cantrell on the guitar side of it.
Sure. I think that's very fair.
Those are two cats that you can reasonably make the argument that they individually changed their individual genre. You know, when Jerry came out, a lot of people had said, the defining sound of grunge was really more from, the Temple of the Dog release when they'd had that, or Pearl Jam, or Nirvana, as the case may be. And that's all well and good. But, man, when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, when you start thinking about grunge guitar, the actual, what the hell was that sound? Man, Jerry Cantrell embodies all of that. If it wasn't for Jerry, you're not getting that droning, really kind of, I don't like to call it sloppy, but it is absolutely a technique of playing. And a lot of it having to do, guitar players will understand, a lot of it having to do right hand more than left. But I think with what Jerry is able to do and what he had brought to to grunge in general and everything he's done since has been, is like, well, that guy is the gatekeeper of what is all in good in this world. And I think Les Claypool kind of does the same thing, although his is more of like a, what the hell is this? And I get it, but I will say is that I realistically think that they're kind of cut from the same cloth.
Primus actually won me over for a very dumb reason. Tony Hawk Pro Skaters come out. Pro Skaters.
Oh, okay.
Pro Skater. That comes out.
There's a race car driver.
It's got Jared's race car driver on it. And I'm playing this game. I'm like, man, this is pretty cool. It's pretty heavy. I'm just like, I'm not a skater. I don't know. I'm not going to like any of this music. And then it has an audio clip from a movie. That fucking part where you hear a chainsaw in the background. You're dog will hunt.
Yeah.
That's from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, which is like one of my favorite movies of all time.
It's like all your favorite shit came together.
And also I was like, oh, this dude's on my spectrum. I'll follow you motherfuckers now and just go and buy Sailing the Seas of Cheese. Just jamming that fucking song exclusively for that one reason, but it made me a Primus fan.
I bought a pork soda at the PX in Okinawa when I was there. So,
ooh, you got an import version. Well, I guess it wouldn't be import
No.
if you bought it on that soil.
yeah, no, well, it was, anything you're buying at the PX is the same shit that they sell in America. So,
Right.
I could have, imports, like rare imports. I wasn't that guy when I was in the service. If I was, I would have spent a pile of money when I was in Japan.
Dude, yeah, you would have had the opportunity to get some very limited edition shit while you were there.
Yeah, but not on base. All that would have been off base. On base, man, it's just like being right here in the good old U.S.
And that's kind of unfortunate because you are missing out on like some limited edition shit. But I guess if the whole idea is to keep those bases as normal as possible or make it feel like you are not in Japan.
All the shit you were getting back then. I'm sure nowadays this isn't the issue, but back in the 90s, yeah. You're about 6 months behind on the music loop.
Damn.
You know, and you certainly couldn't rely on the Armed Forces radio and television to keep you in the loop. So you kind of had to, I don't know, you had to wait for your hit parade or guitar player or whatever to fucking come over, get shipped over to and hit your mail from an APO address and everything else. So you're going to be behind anyway. So. There was an Air Force base on Okinawa, though, Kadena. That was the closest to being in America that you would feel being on Okinawa, though. Because, man, they had movie theaters felt just like back in the States. Everything else, you go to their PX, it felt like a regular fucking, like, an actual, like, retail outlet,
Yeah.
I was in the Marines, though, so we were getting shit that's like, well, we're just lucky to have it, I guess.
We're that quick stop type of mentality.
Yeah. Well, speaking of mentality, or mental.
Speaking of mentats.
Mentats. Oh,
That's,
the Fallout.
That's right. Bringing it back.
You can get addicted to those, even though they're good for you.
That's right. Freshen that breath, make you smart.
Make you smart. Yeah, he's always smart. It is time to get the lowdown on what's going down with LJ.
Bring it.
Give me my need for metal. Yeah! Woo! And hello and welcome back to the metal portion of the Mead for Metal podcast. I'm going to leave that blooper in there because I think it's kind of funny. So, last time I was on the show, I was actually on the show in person at the Mead Hall, and you guys heard that. That is pretty cool. Anyway, this time, however, I'm coming at you from the soon-to-be-named studio that I'm setting up in my garage. As you can probably tell, the audio quality is a little better, if only my vocal skills were. But let's not dawdle anymore. Let's get down with some motherfucking metal and or rock. So I want to talk about this one while it's still fresh in my mind. It's German, so you know it's a good one, and it is...
Kanonenfieber, die Urkatastrophe.
What she said. The band is Kanonenfieber, die Urkatastrophe. Fucking, it translates to Cannon Fever, and the album is the Fucking two languages today, Jesus. The Primordial Catastrophe. And it sounds pretty heavy. So if you're having trouble waking up, particularly from a coma within the last, 1 to 90 years, I suggest listening to this band with the volume turned as loud as it can possibly go. Trust me, it works. So effective, in fact, that I probably got somebody in China fired while I was listening to it with earbuds in. Can you tell I kind of improvise these on the spot? Good. Hey, look, Kat Von D has an album out called My Side of the Mountain, so if she's your cup of tea or whatever it is that she would suggest you drink, then go for it. Next up is... Ooh, it's Nightwish with an album called Yesterwind, spelled Yesterwynde. I'm tempted to think that that's a reference to the video game Morrowind, you know? Elder Scrolls 3. Sorry. I need my nerd card revoked for that one. Anyway, yeah, that's what it kind of reminded me of the title-wise. But it sounds excellent. If you know Nightwish, you know what you're getting yourself into, and it's excellent. Hey, speaking of excellence, there's a band I want you guys to check out. They're called The Last Gang. The album is called Obscene Daydreams. This is my pick for the album of the week because it's just so cool. It's a rock album, and it's fronted by this female singer. She's got this like edge to her voice that reminds me of this old band called The Distillers. You guys are too young for that shit, but anyway, actually, probably, never mind. I'm probably too old for that shit. Either way, yeah, they're my pick for this week. Hell yeah. Definitely check them out. And here's another good album that I think you guys would enjoy. It's by the band Unto Others. Ooh, I love that name. It's like a badass book title or something, but it's a band name. And the album is called Never Neverland. And it's dope as hell. It reminds me of the 90s, honestly, like between grunge and alternative, but not, I don't know, fucking listen to it to yourself. It's really good. It's got that kind of like gloomy, depressive feel, but at the same time kind of rocks. Oh yeah. And that's all I've got for now. I'm going to go ahead and kick it back to the meat hall. I want you guys to have an excellent day. Will I be on the podcast next time, or will I actually be in the studio next time? Who knows? Tune in and see. Sasha, get away from me. Back to the meatheads.
Mein Herr, why did you trade your Mercedes 280e for a Volkswagen Dasher?
Weil sich mein Benzinverbrauch die Hälfte verringert hat.
Almost double the mileage?
Bessere Beschleunigung als der Mercedes.
Better acceleration than the Mercedes.
Und sehen Sie sich doch mal den Kofferraum an.
And all the Dasher's trunk space. Still, you can afford to buy any German car made.
I can also afford not to.
Volkswagen does it again.
God, it's dirty. That's just so fucking dirty.
Well, we were talking about the Brown album a while ago, so.
Dude, again, I mean, like, Primus ain't a band that you would classify as a heavy band, but man, they kind of are.
Heavy in parts, you might say.
Brown album chock full of, man, Shake Hands with Beef.
Yeah.
The lead in right there. That's one of the big ones too.
It's that's the heavy hit. I went with that one because it had like 3 million views on YouTube compared to the second place, which was like a 1.4. So.
Well, one of the biggest things Primus likes to say is that they suck. But of course, I mean that's not true.
I think any good band probably has to say that, right? I think if you get in your own feels and get defensive, I
like come on, you know you're good. You know you're good.
You'd had a little bit of breaking news on Social Distortion.
No, corrosion conformity.
Oh, corrosion conformity. Oh, sorry, I get my punk acts a little confused once in a while on a Friday.
Yeah, fucking bass player
Mike Dean.
Mike Dean, fucking he left the band. It's the reasoning he gave was a bit more of a logistics reason rather than like I just want to go do something else. And this guy had been in the band from 83 to like 89 and then came back for a little bit in the 90s and then 2010 came back. So still a founding member, but he wasn't there the whole time like Reed was.
Reed Mullins, yeah, who died
or
ago.
Pepper. Pepper ain't an original OG.
No, Pepper joined the band 89 or 90. I mean, it was after the punk era, and when Pepper Keenan joined the band, that's when Corrosion Conformity really became a rock band, I would say.
Yeah, Reed Mullins and Woody Weatherman. Strong name, by the
Yeah.
way. Woody Weatherman. That's if I were a meteorologist on TV, that would be my fucking name.
Or if you're a punk fucking front man, right?
Yeah, so when I said he came back for a little bit in the 90s, he actually came back for the Deliverance album, which is my first Corrosion Conformity album.
Oh.
That's the first time I heard COC, and I heard him on an episode of Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, they played the Clean My Wounds video.
Yeah.
And, fucking, of course, they loved it, as they should. But that's the first time I'd heard him was on Beavis and Butthead.
Saw him in, I don't know, the years kind of meld a little bit here and there, but I want to say around about 84, maybe 85, but I'm pretty sure 84. Soundseas was a venue in El Paso down in the warehouse district, and it was legitimately nothing but a fucking warehouse. It had a bunch of rebellious youth kind of invaded and did what they wanted to with it.
Right.
So I mean, it looked like a punk venue. It was very industrial, and to go along with a couple of piss-stained couches and a bunch of chicken wire and fucking spray paint everywhere. Yeah, it was pretty great. Pretty great.
Yeah, his words, ever since Reed drifted away from the band and then passed away, it's been difficult for me to collaborate on new material with bandmates who live hundreds of miles away. I'd say that's valid.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking Metallica built an album during the pandemic without us knowing it. But they had the bankroll to do that, too.
Well, when Corrosion Conformity put out America's Volume Dealer, I feel like that might have been the biggest thing that they have ever done. And everything after that has been to, I hate to say it, it feels like it's trying to recapture some of that glory.
Right.
Which a lot of bands do. A lot of bands that were around in the 80s, what are they trying to do in 2024? They're trying to recapture the energy that was there, when they were younger, and the world doesn't work that way. Life doesn't work that way.
No, yeah. It sucks living in the past.
Yeah.
It sucks. I mean, you can live there for a little bit, but, man, it's not a place you can live for years.
So we can get into some of the updates, I guess, of the week. Mead. Oh, by the way, you're listening to the Mead from Metal podcast.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Welcome.
Welcome to the show. What's going on?
Appreciate you.
Mead update for the week. We have a batch underway, which I don't know what it's necessarily going to be. This is not one where we're doing anything in the primary all that much. It's kind of straight Mead, but
On one.
we have an opportunity now, because since we're utilizing these stainless steel conical fermenters, we can do whatever the hell we want when we want to do it, which is important in this sense, and that is when we're under a big when primary is going crazy. It's a very, very steady and healthy flocculation coming through the airlock, and that is where the yeast is giving off CO2, and it's going through the airlock and everything else, and it's just sitting over there going ba-dup, 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 ba-dup.
Like the Hot for Teacher drum line.
Well, a little more talented, because you're talking about Motley Crue, but the
oh, man, Hot for Teacher, that's Van Halen.
I get all that shit. If you were ever wondering which side of the fence that I put Van Halen on, there you go.
Wow, and man, that's a statement.
Yeah. Motley Crue, Winger, Van Halen, all the big ones,
I would go far to say one of these things is not like the others.
Maybe Dokken, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, take out Van Halen, put Dokken in there, we're good.
Oh, no, Van Halen's like, it's right there. I'm sorry, I'm not, I don't worship Eddie Van Halen. I don't. Nor should you. Just saying. But
Yeah, it's not a matter of worship. It's just acknowledgement.
It's
I would say.
fine. He was an innovator in what he did. That's fine. That's
Yep.
fine. But for non-guitar players, just to try to tell a guitar player how great of a guitar player he was, it's a little fucking tedious.
That's probably fair.
But back to the Mead update, though. Yeah, so these we can track it, and once that primary is done, and that means it has ceased to be passing CO2 through the airlock, that means at that point, that is the optimal point for us to be able to add something. If we want to do a batch of Green Man, that's our green chili. We're in that season now.
Damn right.
Yeah, we can do that. We can absolutely add to that. Now, the problem I've got is that it's actually not a problem. It's okay. Now that I gave it more thought, here's where we're at. Is because, say we add green chili, we just add it directly. Well, that's a lot of trash, as you know.
Sure.
that
Oh,
gets
yeah.
into the batch. It'll make the batch cloudy, and it'll have a whole bunch of residue that settles into the bottom of the fermenter, and it's nasty and it's gross, and you need to get rid of it. Well, turns out we have the means, because these fermenters have a blowout on the bottom to where we can get rid of some of the trash. Get rid of it, get it out of there, and then move on. And allow that batch to go ahead and then mature and flavor and everything else. And the ability to do this without having to crack a lid. Brandon, I usually left cracking lids to you because I fucking hated it. On the plastic fermenters.
Fuck
the
yeah, man. You
commercial
got to
grade.
have some serious grip strength. Do that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to be able to have an airtight seal, and the only way to do that is make lids that are fucking very form-fitting, very tight. We don't have to worry about that anymore. We want to add something, we just pop four buckles and bam, it's access. We add what we want to add and lock it right back up again.
Yeah, far less oxygenation. Especially, we won't be re-racking this thing to another carboy.
No,
it's in its home until it goes into a bottle.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So,
and I love that. I fucking love that.
Makes our life a hell of a lot easier. We've got two. I'm giving thought to maybe a third, but I'm going to pump the brakes on that for the moment. Well, you know,
living
me,
the high life around here.
We won't have nothing but mead going on around.
That's right. Oh, if only we had a new board to talk to y'all about it. Oh, wait, we do. We got that shit too. Welcome to the party.
I do think the next step in the mead portion of all of this probably, my problem is I need to actually consult with Krista, because she's the one that's kind of a real chemistry nerd.
Right.
I would like to establish our own sweet mead yeast colony. And by doing that would be absolutely just borrowing the single cell organisms that came packaged from someone else and make it my own. But I really got to work through some stuff to make sure I've got the science right. So probably the next immediate purchase, probably going to be a beaker, probably actually two. One to get the colony established, the other to grow it, and then the other to, we'd have another container that we'd move it to. And watch that thing, and once it doubles, every time it doubles, we'll start a new batch. That's the dream.
Fuck yeah. But I'm going to leave that to the smart people here.
And as Theodore Herzl said, if you will it, it is so. No, actually, I take that back. Theodore Herzl was Dr. Seuss, right?
Sure.
No, that's Theodore Geisel. Oh, I'm good. It was Theodore Herzl. We're good.
Okay. Sounds like someone of the SS.
Yeah, well, quite the opposite. He was kind of one of the founding members of really the concept of a state of Israel.
Ooh. Well, egg and my face are in alignment right now.
Which, by the way, if you're a friend of ours, listen to this show, or not even a friend of ours, but if you're listening to this show and you're in Lebanon, so apparently, like, pagers started blowing up earlier in the week, and I did my level best to curtail laughter, because I shouldn't laugh when people die, but,
I tried. I tried just now.
The next day. So the pagers, what, 90s tech? Because cell phones, like that shit, they're like
80s and 80s, it was a luxury. 90s, it was available to the realm.
The next day, walkie-talkies started blowing up, which, correct me if I'm wrong, Chief, but that's what, 50s, 60s tech? So if you're in Lebanon listening to this, which, well, good for you, but I wouldn't take that next telegraph message that comes in.
If you bought this on the street for your Walkman, I'd get rid of that Walkman right now.
Love that when a terrorist organization goes, we're just going to use old tech so you can't do nothing. Bam! I shouldn't laugh. I shouldn't laugh. Because Israel's basically committing straight-up genocide in Gaza. But God damn it, with Hezbollah, go right ahead. Go right ahead.
And we're just going to stay off the grid. Like, well, it's easier to fuck with you when you ain't on the grid.
Right.
It's easier. God, yeah, man. I remember we were talking about it. I was like, well, maybe, I don't know. Maybe they just had a way to hack these things, just make those batteries blow up. Oh, no. They had explosives in there, too.
In them, yes. Yeah, I get that. And then people are, well, isn't it sad when children die? Well, those children shouldn't be hanging around a bunch of terrorists. Sorry.
It's just a sad state of affairs. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I would probably, I would not, yeah, I wouldn't keep going old tech, because apparently Israel's got your number. So
at least they got your fucking carrier, man. I mean, damn.
Maybe stop with the terrorism. Maybe recommend that.
That's always an option. Quit with the killing because women are showing their legs or
killing in the name of.
Yes,
that's right.
Sorry,
Sorry, Rage. Or just sever ties with those fucks in Iran who are out there to do nothing but do bad things to everybody. So
it's good times.
Always good times. So what do we? What's going on with you this week? I'd ask how's your week, but what is a thing that changed your life this week?
I learned the Inamorata opening riff.
There you go. That's what I'm talking
about. Yeah, and that's led to me wanting to learn like the rest of the song. Now, do not get me wrong. There's going to be some things that song that's like, nope, beyond my depth. But just being able to play that intro and the riff when the lyric "lion supplying the need, shedding and spreading the seed," that part, I'm like, I don't know, man. It's just kind of put me down a rabbit hole because it is one of my top Metallica songs, definitely my top Metallica closer. It's just some cool shit.
I'm not going to lie. I got excited to work last Saturday. So I get here back to the meadery, and I thought, God damn, that sounds like Inamorata. Like, wait a minute. That sounds like somebody's playing Inamorata. Hold the fucking phone here. Yeah. It's good shit, man.
Yeah, well, you got to fucking hit the journey to see what you stumble across. And there are worse things to stumble across than Inamorata. That's for goddamn sure.
Yeah. So, I think that's the ability to move forward with a lot of the shit you're wanting to do. Because I was doing a lot of the same thing. And I will point out, here is one. I know we've talked about it. I know I've been a big advocate of theirs for a very long time. Pale Summit. They're a band out of Germany. I thought, why is this band like virtually unknown? Well, mostly because they got day jobs. See, they have normal jobs, and this music thing's kind of a side attraction.
They got work to do.
Follow them on Facebook because they have so few followers. If you're wanting to interact with a band that's got some amazing fucking metal, they'll interact with you. Trust me.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've been interacting with me a couple of days this week. So check them out. They've got they dropped their new single Destroyer, Destroyed. They dropped that back on Tuesday. Technically, it was supposed to be today until all of a sudden, like YouTube Music is like, "Hey, here's a band that you like," and they just put out something brand new. I'm like, well, shit, yeah. So I've been listening to that shit since Tuesday. They have an LP on the way, a new one. The last LP was Prophets, which absolutely that is required listening.
It's a banger, yeah.
If you're listening to this show, that's required listening for you for 2024.
Pale Summit, your homework, bitches.
But man, and who would have thought that there would be a band out of Germany I was a big fan of that was not Finsterforce.
That's the other thing, man. Like a lot of good shit coming out of Germany that ain't named Rammstein. Yeah. And that's okay. That's all right.
Finsterforce, a much bigger name. I mean, shit, they're huge. But
and their music is far superior.
But Pale Summit, man, get into the ground floor, support these cats, check out their shit. Even just views on YouTube will help them out. So
fuck yeah, it's all about exposure.
Yeah. Now, although I will say, I think Bandcamp, if you're wanting to monetarily support them, that's the better way to do it.
Tell them Echoes of Ancients sent you, huh?
That's right. Yeah, drop a little line to the band. Let them know.
Right. Let them know the support's strong here in eastern New Mexico.
Of all places, right?
Yeah, no shit.
Hey, we're looking for gigs. Hey, we're here. Oh, never mind.
Y'all cover flights, right?
That'd be a bit of a trip.
Want to come down here to play just to break even?
Seemed like it'd be easier for you and I to fly there and see them. Probably much cheaper in the long run too.
Maybe. Yeah, but then like everything else I'd want to do in Germany would up that cost dramatically.
Yeah. No, we wouldn't be able to go. I mean, because first of all, it'd have to be in the summer. So we're talking like festival season and all over the fucking place. You know, Pagan Fest, Bloodstock, all the fun shit.
Right. Hellfest.
I don't know if Ragnarok's still one. I don't know. I stopped looking at European festivals a long time ago because I thought, well, all you're going to want to do is go. So why don't you stop?
Right.
But one day, while I'll get in a position where that's a thing I can maybe do.
Yep.
But yeah. If you're looking for brand new tunes, and you're obviously you're listening to this podcast, so that means you're clearly a fan of metal or Mead, either way. But either
Booze
way,
or metal.
either way, probably bring up Pale Summit Prophets. It's amazing. Destroyer, the brand new single. Do it, man.
Yeah, turn this shit off right now, and then go listen to that shit, and then come back and listen to the next 8 minutes.
And then come back and leave a comment saying, "Man, you guys are right, and you're amazing." And but whatever,
Right.
whatever you do.
Then send nudes.
And, hold on, we need a screening process. I don't want people just randomly sending nudes if you're looking like Butterbean.
If I knew Jack's email address, I'd say send all proper nudes to Jack.
I unfortunately do have it, but no, I'm not going to reveal that. So,
See, we're good people here.
what else? Let's see. Was going to attempt to get down to Austin. My brother's got a tribute STP tribute band. I want to catch them, and I want to catch them like at kind of their quote unquote home bar.
Sure.
It's not going to probably happen this year. It'd probably have to be next. But he's as he had informed me, he's now in a all female punk band.
Is that right?
The all female part kind of threw me. He's like, so what are you doing? Which I immediately
What have you
thought,
done?
I'm like, is he tucking it back? Because that's
Buffalo Bill style.
exactly, yeah, wild horses, right? That's or as our friend Ruben had pointed out, making up an entire litany of jokes about tucking it back, pertaining to maybe potentially writing a song, tucking it back.
Well, he needs to get to work on that second album anyway. I pre-ordered that thing 6 years ago, and I'm still waiting on it.
Well, I will point out to Ruben then that there's an interesting interplay of tucking it back and taking it back, and you can play both of those throughout, and a little bit of wordplay on your choruses. Although I don't think Alone in a Room is necessarily going to be up to that.
And that one's on the house, Ruben.
There you go. Yeah. little freebie for you, sir.
That's right. We're handing out knowledge here.
What else do we have going on? We when Beetlejuice dropped the flick Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. I'd watch that one too.
I believe that was one where we were trying to make a concerted effort to go catch a little sliver of Hollywood on some shit that's nostalgic for some, or just a thing that's kind of really a thing that kind of got us through a certain part in life, whatever. We didn't do that.
No.
So it turns out we're going to have to catch that on home release.
That's all right. Like I said, it's easier to do. The pisser's right down the way, just like watching a UFC fight at home. Way better than going to watch it in front of a bunch of people.
I got to say, I don't really have a desire to catch a UFC event in person. I've already caught one, and that's enough.
Yeah, I've caught two, and I feel like it's like I get the idea. That's really cool. Is it something I need to continue to do? Clearly not.
No. If we're going to be spending money on going to a venue and seeing some exciting shit we're into, I recommend rock and roll every day.
Yeah, music over martial arts. Absolutely. You just can't beat watching that shit at home. I'd rather have the comfort than the experience.
Yeah. Goddamn. How many people have you? Actually, I don't even know this answer.
Good.
We're in the political season because there's
we are.
Apparently there's a fucking election coming up about like 6-7 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my! Whatever shall we do? Let democracy run its course and leave people alone.
Too easy.
Have you? I don't know, unfollowed or unfriended or whatever the case might be on anybody on socials because of this election cycle?
No, primarily because my Facebook is not a great barometer for anything.
Right.
Now, I know you got a little bit more of a colorful portfolio.
I don't know. We've got about the same number of friends, I think. I might have a few more, but
Yeah, I'm at 67.
Oh, well, no, you're quite a bit low. I'm at 83. It's going to be 82 at the end of the show.
And there will be a great culling once again.
I will. I'm going to have to go through. Man, there are too many fucking people. It's like, why would you post anything on social media about politics at all? Like, this, yeah, okay, unless you're trying to gather those like you to your cause, okay, I suppose that's fine. But at the end of the day, you're espousing politics. When I was growing up, man, I can remember my old man telling me there are 3 things you don't talk about: it's politics, abortion, and religion. Those 3. What does fucking social media want to revolve everything around in every conversation now? Those 3 things.
Everybody feel like a star, man. Like, oh, I got this platform now. It's no longer social media. It's a platform for you to get across what you like and what you hate. And I don't dig on that.
No.
I just flat out don't.
Look, when you're more amenable to a Russian dictator than you are your fellow Americans, there's something a little fucked up.
Yeah. Like, it used to be everybody's on the same page when it came to Russia.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden it's like, well, maybe they got the right idea.
Well, because you've got, that's the problem, our political divide. You're either this or you're that. There are very few things that the two-party system agrees upon. Very few.
Yeah.
Making it wildly awkward to kind of follow and track what goes on in this fucking crazy-ass nation of ours.
Yeah, and I've said it before and I'll say it again.
I've said it before.
I'm glad everybody remembers that meme I posted like 12 fucking years ago. We should have never had this ease of access to the minds of the world.
No, you're absolutely right.
We should have never had this. Well, maybe not never. We shouldn't have had this power right now. Because what has it done? It's turned everybody into fucking assholes.
Yeah, it has. It has.
And I refuse to be a part of that. That's why my Facebook page is more used for in memoriams of folks that I give a fuck about that are no longer with.
Mine's mostly all around music and fucking Mead, oddly enough.
Yeah, the good shit.
All the wonderful things in life. I refuse to really post anything political because somebody out there isn't going to agree with what I think and whatever. And so why do I want to open up an awkward conversation involving somebody that doesn't give a fuck about me? And the case in point, I saw an argument that, Taylor Swift didn't give such a huge bump to the current polling numbers as she did in 2020. And people saying, well, nobody cares what Taylor Swift thinks. You're right. And also nobody cares what Donald Trump thinks. Nobody cares what fucking Sean Hannity thinks. Nobody cares what Keith Olbermann thinks. Nobody cares what Bill Maher, Kid Rock, Ted Nugent. Nobody cares about any of those. And you know what? When it comes down to it, I don't give a fuck what you think.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? We're no longer a people that can have a conversation anymore about something maybe we disagree with. I mean, shit. Paul Bear's new album. There's the side, not a fan. That's your side.
Oh, yeah.
The side that dug it, honestly, that's my side. But you know what? That's okay.
Oh, when it comes on around here, I don't bump it.
No,
I'm not a fan, but I don't bump it either.
The fact that it's something you don't like that I like, and it could be vice versa.
Sure.
You know? We need more of that. We need more of the ability to just be like, man, it's not my bag, but you know what, bro? That's your shit, and I dig that for you. That's it. To just get online and be like, man, that orange-haired motherfucker, he's gonna make everything great. He's gonna do everything good. He's gonna get revenge on everybody. The Vengeance Tour.
But the other reality is this: is that it does not. At the end of the day, it does not matter who sits in the Oval Office at the White House.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. Any of these people, whoever gets elected, one of the two, they don't know you and they don't really care to. Unless you got a lot of money and you might be a donor, in which case that changes everything. But they don't know you. They don't care to know you. And so maybe we can lay off this shit like, well, maybe celebrities need to stop telling people who they're going to vote for. I don't care. They're an American as much as I am. I don't care. That is your right of franchise. Just because you have a bigger platform than I do doesn't mean that it means your message carries further. It doesn't mean your message is right or wrong.
Man, all I know is Elon Musk made a joke about the second assassination attempt of Donald Trump, and that dude is still active. Yeah, Kyle Gass makes a joke about the first one, and now we don't hear from him anymore.
Yeah, now Jack Black having to walk some shit back awkwardly.
Walk back, Jack Black.
Walk back. We want to go and wrap it up.
We might. I mean, we could be talking for hours here,
Yeah.
but there's beer to drink.
Beer, drink, fish tacos to be had. You know,
Oh, boy.
all that fun shit.
That was some good shit.
Well, we're getting ready to have more good shit again tonight. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, fuck it. Let's get to the letter. We'll be back we might be back in 2 weeks. I got somebody up my ass, and I mean that in a very literal sense.
There'll either be no podcast or there'll be the greatest podcast you've ever heard.
You never know. 2 weeks. 2 weeks is where we need to be.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Fucking listen to new music, read new books, meet new people. Fucking live life.
Get rid of that pager.
Mead